So what type of resources does it require to maintain this park?
Well, a bit. We have a full-time person that's assigned to the park that will come through, that will pick up trash, that will do some light maintenance of it. We have the park ranger system that will come out to make sure that it's inspected properly and lock and unlock the gates and what have you. If there's an issue in the park, let's say there's a wildlife issue, which happens, it's a conservation park, we'll have the park ranger check into that and follow up for us. But the maintenance side of it is built into what we have available to us at City Hall. And we make sure that we set aside enough money, if you will, to maintain it. It is a relatively low maintenance area because it's a preserve, and we want kind of wildlife and nature to take over. In the background, again, you'll see Ramadas, a parking area, the entrance, the egress to it, the lighting. That's something that we have to check out on a regular basis, and we make those routine items get cleaned up, fixed up, and what have you. The trash cans that are here, we empty those pretty much on a daily basis, so we really try to do our best to maintain it.
And there's facilities, I know there's the Ramadas, the barbecues.
Restroom facilities, yes. Again, it's a park that everyone can come to and enjoy. If you're interested in, say, renting out a Ramada, if you have a larger group, a family gathering, we do ask that you rent those ahead of time, and you can call 623-930-2820 to make those accommodations. If there's something special you want to do in the park, absolutely, please call us ahead of time. We're at the foot of the amphitheater here. In the past, there have been services, religious services here and other gatherings. We like to know about that ahead of time, and just simply call that 623-930-2820 number and we'll get you fixed up just right.
Great. So the park, I mean, you can do all kinds of things. You can rent the park for Ramadas for special events. You can use the amphitheater for special events.
Absolutely. The one thing we kind of shy away from is in some of our community neighborhood parks, smaller parks, you'll see the inflatables and active games. There's really no space here to do that. It's really not appropriate for a conservation park. So we do kind of mind that a lot.
Great. Now what about volunteer opportunities? Are there opportunities for people to come out here and volunteer to help keep the park in the pristine condition that it's in?
That's the great question. We rely on volunteers to help us keep it going. Certainly we go after grants to help rebuild, reconstruct trails when they need it, because just like everything else with time, there may be erosion, we may have to go back and rebuild a certain part of it. That costs a little bit of money, and there is machinery at times that we need to bring on here. But volunteers, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, philanthropic groups, we love volunteers, and we want them to regularly come out here and help us rebuild the trails. A good example of that was probably about a year and a half ago. We worked with the Leadership West group and a whole slew of community volunteers and the park staff to rebuild the area over at 55th and Pinnacle Peak, the entrance area over there, and we simply relined the stones along the trail to make sure you're on the trail as markers. We planted trees, we threw down wildflower seeds. That's the kind of thing we'd like to see a lot more of, and again, the person that can do that's a different person. Her name is Michelle Yates. She's our volunteer coordinator, and she can be reached at 930-2044. She's all about volunteerism. You can adopt a trail, you can adopt portions of the park. We like that, and we'd love to see more people do that.
Great. So now you spoke about grants. They're part of the park, and I think that we're working off a grant now from the Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority.
Correct. Yes. We're finishing up. It's about a $35,000 grant, and basically what we're doing is we're putting some kiosks in, and we're fixing up the trail system, the trailhead system in the park. And it's because of their generosity and a few extra dollars we had plugged in at our end that we're able to put the two together and do something really neat. There's that from 2005 to about 2012. We went after Department of Transportation grants. We received about $264,000 from them, again, to assist with the trail system and bring some upgrades to the park. So we're constantly exploring and looking for ideas to bring more money to this park so we can conserve it in its pristine state, not bring in brand new development. That's not something we want to do. We want to just make sure we preserve it in a proper fashion for future generations.
Yeah, keep it wild the way it is. I know you and I had spoken
yes.
About contractors that have approached the city several times to inquire about putting
cell phone towers
up on top of the mountain.
Yes.
And that's not something that doesn't really fall into the guidelines of a conservation park. So
that's very true. The money side of it can be very appealing. However, you look around and there's a reason why this looks the way it does,
Right.
and we take it very seriously. It's under our stewardship that we maintain it as best we can, and we also preserve it again for that future generation.
This park is such a wonderful amenity to have in our community. I hope, I mean, you see people already, even today, you know, out enjoying the park, and I mean, it makes me smile to see people out here with their kids, with their dogs. The one thing I'd like, my personal pet peeve is for people to pack their trash down.
Oh yeah, yes.
You know, and when I hike here frequently, and I carry down a water bottle or a couple water bottles down with me almost every time that I come. And the one thing that, you know, I mean, the easy thing that somebody can do is if you carry it up to the top, carry it back down to the bottom and put it in the trash.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And like everything else, there are a few rules, and that's one of them. Pack out what you pack in. If you bring your animal here, your dog, and you can even bring a cat here, make sure you have it on a leash.
I did see a cat here once.
Yeah, there you go. Stick with the trail system, hydrate, bring that cell phone or walk with a partner in case something happens. And that way you can really enjoy the park and use it for what it is, which is for pure enjoyment.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Eric. I really appreciate your time today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been great to be out here.
Thank you.
Great, beautiful, nice and clean. A lot of parking.
Easy for the kids.
Come on out for an hour, 15 minutes. And start, and once you do it, come out the next day and spend 20 minutes and go a little bit farther, and before you know it, you're going to be doing the whole trail, and you're going to be wanting to take on the big trail and just keep going, and eventually it just gets in your blood where you do it every day, and it's not therapy, you just enjoy it.
We've learned a lot about Thunderbird Park today, ways to enjoy the park, ways to preserve the park. I really hope that we all in the community can come out and enjoy it, keep it the way it is. It's really something nice to have in the community. And really thankful for the employees, how they also treasure the park and the care that they take to maintain the beauty in its natural state and to conserve it for generations to come. Thank you for joining me today with Glendale Today, and I'll see you next time.